Thank you for tuning in to Sync 24 TV. This is the National Youth Show with Kennedy Abomo. Today, we are going to have an interactive session with my friend and colleague, Jacob Amos. The topic for that interactive session will be RUTO-RAILA tug of war. As he comes on board, I do kindly urge you to subscribe and click that notification bell so that you're notified whenever we post. Before I introduce him, do kindly let me just remind you a bit about how this program will run. We will be posing questions to one another. Basically, me posing these questions and we discuss these questions. These are questions that some of our people have addressed or sent to us to discuss and find perspective on these issues. So Jacob, you can introduce yourself.
Yes, as you hear, my name is Jacob Amos. And by the way, I'm your host for Catch 24 show. So you catch up with me later after we're done with this session. Thank you.
Okay, now, Jacob, I think politics, as we have noted for some time, it has just begun.
Yes.
The road ahead seems bumpy. I think for both the president and the opposition.
Yes.
So straight to my first question, because this I think is one area where you did a video and you said that the president will not be going for Luo Nyanza because he would risk upsetting the Kikuyu constituency vote.
Yes, and I still stand by that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my question is Ruto seeking to wrestle Luo community from Raila Odinga? Is he seeking to do that?
Well, as of seeking, yes, from the way you've framed the question, yes, he's seeking. But this can be to the detriment of his constituency. That is the following from Mount Kenya region, Moso. So it's been alluded that he's supposed to visit Kisumu.
Yes.
And I think this is a charm offensive to the region. And I'm very sure most of the people from that region are going to receive the president well. But now politically,
yes.
If we flip that the other side of the coin, what I've come to realize in Kenyan politics is that the Luos and Kikuyu politically, they just don't meet. We don't meet.
But no, I don't really think I can agree to that.
Yes.
We had 2002 where Luos and Kikuyus came together. Then we put President Kibaki actually we gave him the president. The Kikuyus, the Luos and Kikuyus voted.
It's very good for you to bring that on board because it's just going to corroborate my argument. That is, it's only Kikuyus only accept our support when we are supporting them, but they never want to give us that. They never want to return a hand.
Do you think? Because
Yes.
me again, I think I still don't. Do you think it was because after giving them or after Raila campaigned vigorously for Kibaki,
Yes.
then gave him the presidency, and then the Kikuyu felt. In fact, during those times, they were calling him Jamba.
Mtongoria Jamba.
Mtongoria Jamba. You can remember that.
Yes, yes.
It was loved across the
nation, especially the mountain.
In the mountain, it was really loved. And then why do you think then this love ceased? Me, I think, and I believe this is now the source of their issue.
Enlighten me.
After being in government, and then they felt he upset President Kibaki.
Yes.
So the question, why won't he? Do you think had he been with President Kibaki all through and allowed President Kibaki to serve his 2 terms without interfering? Do you think Kikuyus, and then after that present himself to the Kikuyu community the way Ruto did? Do you think the Kikuyu community would have voted him?
That is quite hypothetical, and I don't like indulging in hypothetical questions. But be that as it may, and that side, I think maybe you can have a point. You have a point to an extent. If only Raila Odinga stayed and served President Kibaki well, then I think Kikuyus would have returned a hand.
So you are agreeing?
But
Okay.
There's a but coming. Just relax. Give me time, my friend, to submit my argument.
Okay.
But just since then, especially from 2013 onwards, there's this narrative. You see, now Uhuru is the one who came along and entrenched the hatred for Raila Odinga in the mountain. Now, as much as he was trying to remove the hatred, it was so entrenched. It was first done by his father, and then he just came and made it and entrenched it.
Okay.
So Ruto, being a politician that he is, well, I say Ruto is the kind of a politician who would gift you a toothbrush, and then he punch you on the mouth.
Takes away your tooth.
It takes away your tooth, basically.
Yes.
And then after that, because you are well bred, he comes and asks you for forgiveness. You forgive him, and then he immediately welcome or invites you for a feast of nyama choma. Well, you don't have a teeth to brush in the first place, and number two, you don't have a teeth to feast on that nyama choma.
Yes.
So, being that kind of a politician, he's realized that the only thing that he can take advantage of the most is the division between Luos and Kikuyus. So he's feasting on this. He knows that if he loses one,
I think we are losing something.
Yes.
Because you see, personally, I don't view, because my view is a bit different. I view it this way.
Yes.
That this is something about a specific person, not necessarily the whole of Luo community. Because in terms of interactions, social interactions, if you look at the interaction between Kikuyus and Kalenjin, in terms of social interaction,
not as cordial.
It is not as cordial.
Yes,
and then if you look at the terms of interaction between Kikuyus and Luos, it is more entrenched.
Yeah,
but now when it comes to this person, Raila Odinga,
they
recoil.
disagree, yes.
So is it a question of one man or the whole community? Because I really do not agree. I think personally that if we can present another person other than Raila Odinga,
they can vote for
then the Kikuyu community can actually vote for him. But there is genuine fear about Raila Odinga. I think so, not the Luo community.
And imagine, it's good that you've mentioned that. It's the Odinga name that they have a problem with. So much so that I'm sure if Raila was to get out of politics, then he would render a lot of Kikuyu politicians irrelevant, and they would totally not have any problems working with another Luo.
Then you are telling me that the premise you are saying is therefore wrong, because you had said it is impossible politically for these two communities to work together.
No, for now, in the long run, yes. But now we are talking about Ruto and in this government now.
Yes.
No, I think it's quite impossible. Very, very impossible.
I do think, because personally I think President Ruto will be going for the Luo community and very aggressively. I'm saying that because he knows quite well that the person these people have a problem with
is Raila
Odinga. So the community as it is now remains without any direction. Even though Raila is trying to give them direction right now, they know quite well that it is impossible for him to stand come 2027. Ruto, on the other hand, may not be very quite certain with the Kikuyu votes. I don't know whether you are seeing.
I'm getting you. Pre-2027, yes, he's going to flash that card in his political deck of cards.
So for him, he would want to expand his constituency as much as possible. And where best to start from, other than the Luo community, where now there is no any particular leader going into 2027.
This argument will submit to the jury.
Yes.
Go into the comment section. You tell us your views so that we get to know if Ruto will seek and wrestle Luo community from Raila Odinga pre-2027.
We really, I hope you have heard what it saying. And again, the argument. And again, whether Raila, whether the Luo community can work with the Kikuyu community, specifically whether the Kikuyu community can support a candidate from a Luo candidate. Yes. So that is, we really want to know that from your comment section, and possibly, if possible, please give reasons why. We have given our reasons. He has his reasons. I have mine. So it is up to you to also give us your final take on the issue. The second question. The second question. that is the president now and his deputy. Things have happened so far, so good. I believe so.
Yes.
But now there are certain things that have happened, a few subtle things which, if you look at, you may pose this question: is the president trying to cut his deputy to size? Is DP Ruto, President Ruto cutting DP Gachagua to size?
I don't think. You see, most Kenyans read a lot about this office scuffle, I mean, the office thing where Mudavadi used to be allocated Arambe House, and DP Gashagua's office is to be on the same block
with that of the president.
With that of the president.
Taking 2 floors.
Some people are thinking that now the president is really going to manage his deputy, because he can see who walks in and out of his deputy's office, so that he feels like his tenure will be very safe. He's sure that he'll not be stabbed from the back by his deputy Gachagua. But
that he'll not be stabbed.
That is,
you're using a very pointed word. When you say that he'll not be stabbed, then you are lending credence to the question. Actually, you are answering the question in the affirmative. That in fact is trying to cut him to size.
I'm trying to debunk what Kenyans are trying to believe, or what most supporters from the other side are trying to peddle, that the president is trying to cut his deputy to size.
Just by that very fact alone.
Just by that very fact alone. But in the larger scheme of things, I don't think so. I've not seen any attempts by the president to manage his deputy president. I've not seen any attempts. Though somebody was telling me that the president is the kind of a man, he's like a lady on makeup. Somebody was telling me that the president is a lady on makeup.
Yes.
You can take him from wherever you meet him. You go with him to the house, and immediately he takes off that makeup. You realize that you're dealing totally with a different person. But be that as it may, I believe that president is one of the people who keeps his word to his people. You just see the kind of the way he's dealt with Amason Kingo, people who came at the very tail end of his campaign, but he's rewarded them with the position that he promised them.
My question, actually, that again, because personally I use those as examples of cutting the deputy to size. He's using people who brought nothing on board. Somebody like Amason King, he's brought nothing. So the only person this person is going to be liable or loyal to is the president.
Yes.
You are given a very powerful post. Basically, that makes you one of the, I think, top 4 most powerful persons in Kenya.
Well, which
just a moment.
Yes,
just a moment.
Yes.
And then you are heading an institution that is the legislative arm of the government, together with Moses Wetangula.
Very powerful indeed.
But you brought nothing. And then here is my DVD. The man also brought nothing, but he's given a full building.
Yes.
Full
and
building.
A portfolio on top.
And a portfolio on top. So he runs all the ministries, MAQ, are to report to him. You see? So a full building, and then you take your deputy and give him some 2 floors within your office. Methinks that the president understood the president knows some of the issues that can lead to the deputy president trying to outsmart him, the way he did with his President Uhuru, his own boss. He was given an office block. He was there, and then what happened? It was like was running a parallel government. So this is what President Ruto wants to avoid. That there is no parallel government that is going to be run in his presence.
Well, I pose the question: who does not want a loyal? Who doesn't want to be flanked by loyal people? If anything, even in social circles, you only want to date or marry a very loyal lady. Plus, you're the one who just said that pre-2027 he must cast his net wider.
Yes,
which means. He must make sure, in order to lure the Luhya communication. You see, the Luhya community didn't vote for him as such.
Yes.
Westerners, they didn't vote for him as such. So, just to debunk a theory that he's taken his people, their leaders, that is Wetangula and Madividi for granted, he's made sure that he beef their positions so that they are stronger. And this is going to influence that constituency to vote for him come 2027.
So for you, it is a matter of securing rather than cutting Gachagua to size. Again, viewers, this is another contentious one. I do not agree with him because I believe, personally, as I always say, that politics is black and white. It is never in the shades of gray. You cannot convince me that you take your deputy and put him that 2 floors above your office and then you give somebody else just because of votes. Would like to know your views.
Well, me too subscribe to the same philosophy, political being black and white, but sometimes it must be on the shades of gray, and this is a case of shades of gray. You have to look beyond what you are seeing now.
The third question that we got, the third question is, again, this is now going to particularly to Azimio supporters. Do you think Raila supporters will heed his call for 1 million march against the judiciary? Do you think Raila supporters will heed his call for 1 million march against the judiciary?
I think they will heed him. You see, Raila is the only politician in Kenya who has that organic following. It's raw, my friend. It's not moneyed or anything. Have you ever loved a woman loving you like the conventional love? A woman loving you with nothing. She's loving you for who you are. Well, this is the kind of love most Kenyans are offering Raila.
I do not think that this is the kind of thing, and I personally believe that probably they may not. I believe so because I've tried to follow some of the views of, you know, those whom you would think are staunch Azimio supporters, whether they can actually come out and, you know, follow Raila into this match. Most of them, I think, are tired. I believe so that most of the people are tired, and that does not actually take away the fact that there are some people who love this man, as you say, like a woman who loves a man for nothing. Of course, there can always be not loving for nothing. There is always something. It may not be money.
This man doesn't offer. This man doesn't offer anything.
Yes, but
maybe just he's just good.
He's offering something. So he's offering something.
Good looking. Yeah.
Yes. So I think Raila Odinga would also, because there is a video I did about there is a need for Raila Odinga to, if at all, to reinvent himself. Yes. So that he can know how to approach this new dynamic, because the people generally are disillusioned. People are tired, and most of the people also know that he's not going to run in 2027. He'll be 83.
I was talking to someone in Kibera. I was just taking a stroll in one of these barazas. Should I call them barazas?
Yes.
Yes, in those barazas where these young men discuss politics in the Kijiji.
Yes.
A certain man was proposing something. In fact, he really believed in whatever he was proposing. That is when I realized that Raila can actually still run come 2027. You see, he was saying that if Raila was, he was sure, as Luos, they wanted Raila to run. He was a Kisi, by the way, that even if Raila won this election, these 2022 elections, they wanted Raila to go for 10 years. So now they want Raila to go for one term in 2027 up to just 2032. They're saying that these people, they feel, I mean, the so-called the people with the money, let me say so.
Yes.
They feel like they want somebody there whom they can control. You see, Ruto is kind of a rabid dog. That man has come to that seat himself. He owes no one nothing.
Yes.
You see, no matter, I was telling you the other time that his mandate is stronger. It's in that aspect.
That's
so he cannot be tamed.
Yes.
He's going to appoint his people as he likes.
And organize his government
as he likes.
Yes.
Nobody's going to come and shout at him at 50-50 nonsense. He's not going to buy, and he's not going to do it.
Because actually that in that respect, I agree with you. And I do not think that Gachagua actually brought any votes.
He didn't bring. It's not a matter of thinking.
Yes.
He didn't bring anything.
He would have still got those votes.
He would have still got those votes, with or without Gachagua.
Yes.
You see.
Yes.
It was Ruto for the Kikuyus. It was not Gachagua for the Kikuyus.
Okay.
So don't be cheated. Well, let's go back to whatever we were saying. So when if Raila calls for his 1 million march, in fact, that guy was saying that what is a 1 million people? even if you want 3 million now, we will give him. We will go and
So okay, that actually touches on my, because I'd always thought personally that Raila Odinga actually went overboard with his attacks on the judiciary, because you see his 1 million march is predicated on the fact that the judiciary did not
conform with these.
Did not provide a judgment that
favored him.
Not really that favored, but that is per law. You get? So he believes that the judgment was not as per law and therefore invalid, and all those factors. Then to the question, then do you believe that he's not gone overboard, calling for this 1 million march and attacking the judiciary in that regard as well?
In a democracy, everybody is entitled to their opinion.
Yes.
That is Raila's opinion.
Yes.
And believe me, there's 50% of Kenya plus his support base who still believe and want him to do something.
But do you believe, you see, because why is he then putting people in this? Why can't he allow us to move? Because now we already have a government.
You're
You're
making this the question subjective. I want to look at it objectively on a wider in a wider margin of things, where the plebs, where the poor people, where the people who don't really access information day in, day out, people who don't know the runnings of the government, people who believe that what Ruto said in some church, that immediately sworn in, the price of hunger will come down. You see, running a government, well, people who believe that running a government is left to the president, that he can just say whatever he wants and do it.
Okay.
You see, so these people, they also compose a very good constituency of Raila Odinga.
A lot, actually.
You see, so they'll still work with him until he tells them otherwise.
Is that not taking advantage of the people, of these poor people?
Well, that is basically politics.
Because usually, as a leader, as you say, as a leader, and also the caliber of Raila Odinga, we have had elections.
There is.
This election was challenged in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has pronounced itself. Why can't we respect that decision, rather than to again call upon people to walk against the judiciary and march against the judiciary?
There's a very big difference between leadership and political ambition.
Yes. Before
these politicians are leaders, they are politicians. You see, so they put their political agenda first before anything. President Ruto is doing the same. Raila's always, like for example in 2007, Raila stood down because people were dying. That was leadership. You see,
yes.
Ruto wanted them to go up to the ends of the end of the road. That was a politician.
Ambition.
That was ambition. Now, leadership and political.
So what you are saying right now, what you are saying
is Raila is being a politician,
being ambitious
politically,
and not really caring of what may come.
Exactly.
Okay. I think we need to end it here. And again, on that respect, because I believe so strongly that not so many people will follow Raila into that 1 million march against the judiciary. So if you think so, or specifically if you're an Azimio supporter and you believe you can follow Raila into that 1 million march against the judiciary, just comment down there and say, me, I would follow Raila to 1 million march against the judiciary. If also you believe that is not gone overboard or is gone overboard, also comment and tell us, no, I think in this particular one is really gone overboard, because really attacking the judiciary, personally, I feel that was a bit overboard, especially in the manner that he did it.
Well, if back in 2008, 2009, President Ruto asked us if rain actually comes from trees at the height of
Mau forest
deforestation.
Yes.
If he asked us if water comes from whether water comes from heaven or trees, and we shouted it comes from heaven, to that end, I believe a good number of people are still going to follow Raila on his march to the judiciary.
The people will separate us on this one. So we have 4 questions that require your input.
Yes, so
And now we talk about Miguna.
Yeah, political trend of the day, yes?
Yes, the political trend of the day. Miguna. What do you think about Miguna?
Miguna was played. He thought that we can actually, if you may help me with my,
Okay.
I read for them a tweet by Miguna just before President Ruto was sworn in.
This is a man who would really praised, he campaigned for President Ruto while abroad and believed so much that he would come back.
What he doesn't realize that if you have a dog and it's beaten you, you want to sell it to me, I will not take that dog, my friend. You keep that dog or
so
kill
Miguna is the dog.
Miguna is the dog
and
here.
And Canada wants to sell it.
And he was Raila's dog. He beat Raila.
He
went to Uhuru and Ruto's camp. He beat them, and they are the ones. Actually, Ruto that he expect to bring him back into the country, he beat that particular man. So he paradoxically he believes
that Ruto
can bring him back. This was the tweet. I am Kenyan. This was after he realized. This was on 13th, before the inauguration.
Yes.
When he believed that by 14th he'll be in the country. I'm happy to announce that President William Ruto has assured me that the red alerts will be lifted on Wednesday, September the 14th, 2022. Thereafter, I will have my Kenyan passport renewed and I will announce the date of my return to my motherland. Bravo. A few days later, I think 2 or 3 days later, this was the tweet by Miguna. I am a Kenyan-born citizen. I'm more Kenyan than despot Uhuru Kenyatta and conman Raila Odinga. Both spent their youth abroad. I attended nursery school to university in Kenya. I don't need any approval of documents to return home. All I want are the red alerts lifted. What is this pointing to? This is pointing to a man who's realized that President Ruto is not going to keep his promise.
Because the problem with this man, and I always believe that this is a madman. He wants to do things his way, and if not his way,
it's the highway.
Then it's the highway.
Yes.
You see, because it is the problem he was having with the Uhuru administration. This is a man who's not been blocked from coming into the country. He was allowed to come into the country. He was supposed to regularize his document. And I think he's refusing to do that. So President Ruto, as you say, knows that this is Raila Odinga's dog. He beat his master. And he also beat, and actually that is why he was taken out of the country
by Ruto and Ruto. Yes.
And now he expects Ruto to take him and embrace him as his own dog. He will bite Ruto. And that points to one thing, viewers, that Ruto is a man who learns from mistakes of others. There is no way I think Ruto can work with a man like Miguna.
Yes,
or even embrace him. What do you think?
I agree with you to that end.
Yes.
Ruto is not going to allow Miguna back into the country.
Unless he does, not on his terms, because this guy wants to come back into the country. On his terms, yes.
Yes, unless he meets the demands of that these people have laid to him. Well, to that extent, yes.
He will come back.
Otherwise, he's going to remain wherever he is.
In Canada, shouting.
But still, I'm quite sure, I'm quite persuaded that even if he tried, these people are going to tell us a lot of things. In the case of Miguna, they are going to tell us that maybe he's refusing to play ball. We've told him to do this, he's not doing. You see, just to take us round and round and round. But in real sense, they don't really want to facilitate his coming back into the country. Remember, there's some Turkish investor that was also
thrown out of the country.
Yes. This guy was facilitated even before President Ruto was sworn in.
Oh, he's
already in the country.
Okay.
So these people don't have any goodwill towards Miguna's coming back into the country.
I think that marks the end of this interactive session. Thank you very much, my brother.
Yes, thank you very much, Kennedy.
We will be waiting for your comments down that section. We are very glad to host you in this particular one. I still hold my position to be true that I'm going to win this one against at Amos. Thank you for watching. Till we meet again.